60 AD. Rome is at its height. But in its most remote outpost, the empire is about to be hit by the full fury of a woman's wrath. Her anger will kill 70,000 and defy Roman power in Britain. The Romans degraded a mother and abused her daughters. They would pay a heavy price. Boudica, queen of the Iceni, would have her revenge.
Boudica means victory, so she was Queen Victoria of the Iceni, a proud but relatively small tribe in eastern Britain. They were descended from Celts who arrived in 500 BC from northern France and Belgium. The Iceni were strong, independent, and quite wealthy, and they mixed with the even more ancient Britons who built the great stone circles such as these at Stonehenge. These stones were raised over 3,500 years before Christ, or Boudica.
Meanwhile, on the continent, a superpower had grown, swallowing whole countries and civilizations on its march towards Britain. By 60 AD, the Roman Empire had conquered a quarter of the world's people through a powerful combination of military might and tempting trade agreements. To Boudica's husband, Prasutagus, king of the Iceni, such trading pacts had been just too good to refuse.
Idem in me! Idem in me!
Everywhere Rome went, they would always support the local ruling elite. So for people like Prasutagus, who became a client king, they realized that their land, their property, their wealth, their position in society was going to be backed up and endorsed by Rome, and he preserved, nominally at any rate, some measure of independence for his nation.
Little did the Iceni royal family realize that their independence would be short-lived. This was a deal with the devil. The peace they enjoyed was just the calm before the storm. But for now, Boudica felt secure. The Iceni were an advanced society which saw themselves very much as equals to the Romans.
I think there's some notion that compared to the Roman people, the Iron Age people were somehow backward, barbarians that needed civilizing. And I would very much disagree with that. Anyone who studies Iron Age Britain can tell you that it was a very rich cultural place. And we absolutely should not see the native Britons waiting for the Romans to come just so they can at last have hot and cold running water, learn Latin and wear togas. That was not the case.
They were very artistic. The Snettisham hoard, the torques and the brooches that were found there, showed a level of workmanship that is unmatched anywhere in the ancient world. This is a fantastic torque of 8 by 8 woven wires. And nowhere, China, Europe, the Americas, anywhere was there anybody capable of that level of workmanship in gold at that time.
We have a wonderful hoard of gold and silver neck rings from a place called Snettisham in Norfolk. This is one of the richest treasures of gold and silver jewellery from Iron Age Europe. They struck their own coinage. They had a very developed monetary system. These people were not savages. They had a centralised state with the royal family. They were very much ruled from the centre outwards, and they achieved quite a sophisticated political organisation.
Signing a treaty with the Romans was a shrewd move. It meant that chieftains like Prasutagus avoided their people being stripped of their weapons.
And it made him very wealthy. But in AD 60, it all went terribly wrong. The one person who bound the Iceni to the Romans, Boudicca's husband, King Prasutagus, died. In the days that followed, as Boudicca mourned, the greater significance of her husband's death would become horribly clear. Peace would be shattered. Rome would be shaken. Thousands would die. Little did she realize it, but Boudicca was looking into the abyss. When Boudicca's husband, King Prasutagus, died in AD 60, the flames that consumed his body were about to consume his people. Despite being a client kingdom to the Romans, there was a long simmering cauldron of differences between the Britons and their conquerors.
Julius Caesar, who was a god, the greatest hero, the greatest general Rome had ever known, had attempted to take Britain and had failed twice in a row. He lost most of his ships, he lost all of his men. He said, "I came, I saw, I conquered," and that was so much spin. He came, he was completely jumped on. He managed to achieve one small trading treaty and he buggered off home again as fast as he could. If Claudius could do something better than that, then he would have established himself in the eyes of the people.
By 43 AD, Emperor Claudius decided to do what Caesar couldn't and bring the wayward island under Roman control.
So he sent 4 legions. He sent a minimum of 40,000 men, as far as we know, in the biggest invasion fleet Britain has ever seen. This was by far bigger than the Armada.